Hey, welcome to Daily Bravo Drama. In this audio, we will be talking about Dorit Kemsley's $8 million mansion facing foreclosure, Bravo getting caught editing Nia Booko's reunion answers, Stassi Schroeder weaponizing her sister's wedding money, and Farrah Brittany's big baby reveal. We'll cover everything coming up in this audio. Hey, this is Delilah.
Hey, this is Fahid.
Welcome to Reality TV Audio Podcast,
where we break down the latest in reality TV every day.
So, we usually think of reality TV as this, heavily manufactured kind of scripted chaos, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
But today we are looking at what happens when the real world, like ruthless banks and divorce lawyers and just eagle-eyed fans, when they kick down the door and force their way past the Bravo editors.
Right, they just bypass the whole production machine completely.
Exactly. And the real world is currently tearing through Beverly Hills. Like the real estate drama for PK and Dorit Kemsley, it has escalated from just, typical blog rumors to hard leaked legal documents.
Oh yeah, this is not just gossip anymore.
No, it's really not. So attorney Ronald Richards, he just posted this confidential offer sheet from a second lender regarding their $8 million mansion. And the property is actively facing auction right now.
Right, and I think having a second lender leak your internal modification offers online, that is a completely different stratosphere of financial exposure.
Yeah.
Because looking at the documents from this lender, Private Money Solutions, it paints a very stark picture of their leverage, or, well, lack thereof. The lender offered a 6-month extension, but the stipulations are incredibly aggressive.
Right, aggressive is almost an understatement. Because the offer explicitly says the mortgage has to be brought current, immediately. There is $17,000 in just insurance arrears alone that have to be paid at signing.
Which is wild.
It is. Plus, they were demanding a 1-point fee for the extension, and the house must be listed on the MLS.
Right.
The lender literally wrote in the email, quote, "We cannot be put in a position yet again of the first being late ever again." Yeah, that phrasing alone just tells you how completely exhausted this private money group is with them.
Seriously, I mean, when a private lender writes something that emotional in a term sheet, the business relationship is just entirely fractured.
Oh, 100%.
And we also have to look at the daily reality of this asset, right? The monthly debt service on this property is $40,000.
Wait, 40?
$40,000. They are bleeding that much cash every 30 days just to tread water on a house they're being forced to list anyway. And Ronald Richards pointed out this major legal roadblock, too. The house is held in an LLC, which is currently suspended.
Okay, wait. I need you to translate that into, real-world dollars for a second, because the documents mention a 1-point fee and a suspended LLC. What does that actually mean for their wallets right this second?
So a point is basically 1% of the total loan amount. If the second mortgage is, let's just say, $2 million. That is a $20,000 cash fee they have to hand over just for the privilege of keeping the house for another 6 months.
Hand it over. Wow.
Yeah, it doesn't even pay down the debt. It's just a penalty fee.
Oh, my gosh.
Right. And a suspended LLC means the corporate entity holding the house, they basically haven't paid their California state taxes or filed their required paperwork. So when an LLC is suspended, it legally cannot conduct business.
So it's frozen.
Exactly. It can't borrow money. It can't sign new contracts. It's paralyzed.
So why on earth would PK try to borrow even more money for a corporate entity that is legally paralyzed? It's clearly a sinking ship.
Honestly, it comes down to control. I mean, PK is trying to save face and keep the asset afloat, probably hoping for some financial windfall to magically appear out of nowhere.
Right.
But he doesn't hold the ultimate power here. Dorit does.
Because her name is on it?
Well, she simply refuses to sign a loan modification that would put her on the hook financially. And more importantly, she absolutely refuses to move out.
But wait, if she lets the house go, doesn't she lose her main storyline for the new season of The Real Housewives of Beverly Hills? Can she afford to give up the very asset that's keeping her relevant on the show?
See, that is exactly the calculation she is making.
Yeah.
She has incredible leverage over both PK and the bank right now, because she knows the lender doesn't want the massive headache of trying to, forcibly evict a high-profile reality star with Bravo camera crews actively filming in her kitchen.
Oh, that is so true.
Yeah.
The optics of the sheriff showing up while they're shooting a dinner party, that's a PR nightmare for a private lender.
Exactly. So Dorit can literally just sit there, force PK to scramble to service the massive debt and maintain her filming schedule.
Wow. That makes perfect sense. I mean, she's securing her television paycheck while he deals with the foreclosure notices. It's entirely self-preservation.
Right.
But that $40,000 a month cash burn, it actually explains so much about the other major headline involving Dorit right now.
Oh, with Tracy Tutor?
Yes, because Tracy Tutor from Million Dollar Listing is officially joining season 16 of Beverly Hills. And this massive feud from March of 2025 has instantly resurfaced.
The Jeff Lewis live interview?
Yes.
That was a scorched earth media appearance for sure.
It really was. Tracy went on the radio and claimed that Dorit doesn't pay her bills. And she specifically pointed to a hairstylist they both use, Chris Dillon. Tracy said Dorit owed him a significant amount of money, and then added that her makeup artist hadn't been paid either. Like, Tracy basically accused Dorit of making a habit out of using this glam squad and then stiffing them.
Which is, I mean, that is the cardinal sin in the Bravo ecosystem.
Oh, totally.
The glam squad economy in Beverly Hills is very real. These artists rely on reality stars for exposure, but the stars rely on the artists to maintain the illusion of extreme wealth.
Right.
So when you disrupt that financial ecosystem, you make enemies very fast. And Dorit fired back on Watch What Happens Live, claiming it was all just a big misunderstanding.
Oh, right, the hotel room thing.
Yeah, she said Chris Dillon overcharged her and tried to double bill her for a hotel room. So she basically framed it like the hairstylist was the one running a scam and her office simply flagged the invoice.
But Tracy gets the ultimate last word here, though. She jumped on Instagram right after Dorit's interview aired and posted, quote, "Guess who got his wire transfer today, though?"
So petty.
Which is just a masterclass in petty warfare. I mean, Dorit can talk all day about her office flagging invoices, but a wire transfer clearing exactly 1 hour after you get called out on national television, that completely destroys that defense.
Completely.
Tracy is a shark in the real estate world, She's going to eat Dorit alive this season over unpaid hotel bills.
It definitely sets up a highly volatile dynamic right out of the gate. I mean, Tracy has her own independent wealth, she has her own established career, and zero intimidation factor. She doesn't need the Housewives platform the way Dorit does right now, especially with the foreclosure looming over everything Dorit does.
Yeah, that dynamic of who desperately needs the show versus who is just living their life. That actually brings us perfectly to the other side of Beverly Hills. Because while some cast members are losing control of their assets, others are completely curating their public image right now.
Oh, you mean Farrah?
Yeah. Kyle Richards' daughter, Farrah Brittany, finally had her gender reveal. She is having a boy due this November.
Which is exciting, but let's be real. The highly produced reveal video actually answered the real question fans have been obsessing over for months.
The identity of the father.
Exactly.
People have been analyzing her social media posts like absolute forensic scientists for months, and the video finally confirmed it is Zach Goldsmith. He stood right next to her, and they embraced when the blue balloons popped. And for anyone who doesn't recognize the name immediately, he was her co-star on Netflix's Buying Beverly Hills and works with her at the agency.
Which makes complete sense when you think about it. They had an established working relationship, they run in the exact same high-end real estate circles, and they already understand the pressure of being on television.
Totally. I actually found the specific details of the party itself really fascinating. Farrah's cousin, Alexia Umansky, she documented the behind-the-scenes prep.
Yeah.
And it was this absurd mix of normal everyday errands and ultra-wealthy flexing.
Right.
Like, Alexia's filming herself running to Michael's craft store to buy standard pink and blue balloons, and then in the next breath, she casually mentions she is heading over to the Hermes boutique to pick up a gift.
The contrast is everything in Beverly Hills.
Oh, that's true.
You buy the balloons at the strip mall, and you buy the baby booties at Hermes.
Yeah, and she handed the envelope with the gender results to the sales associate at Hermes so they could wrap either a pink or blue gift without Alexia even seeing it. Like, the baby's already wearing designer labels before he's even born. It is such a tightly controlled, brand-safe narrative.
And that kind of perfectly curated PR moment is exactly what the cast of The Valley is rebelling against right now, because they are losing control of their own narratives entirely because of the fans.
It's amazing.
The biggest story coming out of The Valley isn't what happened on screen, it's what Bravo desperately tried to manipulate in post-production.
The sneaky reunion edit. I mean, fans on streaming platforms are way too observant for a network to pull a stunt like this in 2026.
They really are.
So part 3 of the reunion airs, and people immediately notice something is fundamentally wrong with Danny Booko's footage. Bravo literally swapped out his answers, regarding whether or not he was drinking at Jasmine's wedding.
So, just to map out the timeline for people, the version that aired on live television showed Danny completely denying that he drank alcohol at the wedding. But the version uploaded to Peacock and Hayu for streaming showed an entirely different clip where Danny admitted that he did, in fact, drink.
Wow.
Yeah. Fans caught it, posted side-by-side videos on social media, and the streaming platforms literally had to pull the episode down for a few hours to fix it.
I mean, are we really supposed to believe a major network just accidentally dragged and dropped the wrong video file into the streaming library?
Right.
Danny's relationship with alcohol was the central tension of his entire season. A yes versus a no isn't just a typo. Is this Bravo trying to actively make him look like a dishonest villain, or were they protecting him on live TV?
Well, when you edit a reality TV reunion, the post-production pipeline is incredibly complex.
Yeah.
You have hours of footage, and editors create multiple timeline sequences. They build one cut for linear TV, which has strict commercial break timings, and often a different cut for streaming platforms, which can run longer. Sometimes, the quality control department just grabs the wrong exported file.
Okay, but still.
However, the optics are atrocious.
Yeah.
It exposes the man behind the curtain. It proves that the network has the raw footage to support two entirely different realities, and they get to choose which one becomes canon.
Yeah, and the streaming version where he admitted it was definitely the truth, and just feels like they tried to protect him on the live broadcast but botched the digital delivery. It just looks incredibly shady.
Yeah.
And that wasn't the only footage missing from the Valley.
Oh, the Jack stuff?
Yes. Fans are furious because cameras actually picked back up for Season 3 to capture the fallout of Jax Taylor dating his longtime publicist, Lori Krebs.
Jax claimed he, quote, loves her to death and that his mental health was amazing. I mean, it was a massive tabloid story at the time.
10 years of working together as client and publicist, he separates from Brittany, and suddenly they're in a relationship. But none of this footage aired.
None of it.
Not at the reunion, not as a bonus episode, nowhere. Fans are speculating it got left on the cutting room floor because production is just exhausted by Jax's PR stunts.
Honestly, that is the most logical read on the situation. Jax has a long history of generating off-camera chaos to guarantee on-camera time.
Right.
By refusing to air the Lori footage, production is starving a narcissist of oxygen.
Exactly.
They are setting a boundary and telling him, look, we will not reward this specific brand of tabloid manipulation. It is a highly effective producing strategy to just ignore his manufactured storylines.
And we also got some unseen footage regarding the Bookos that sheds light on exactly how dark things were getting. There was this Season 3 moment that didn't make the main cut where Brittany Cartwright sits Nia down and issues a direct warning.
Yeah.
She basically tells Nia she is seeing alarming similarities between her own toxic dynamic with Jax and the dynamic developing between Nia and Danny.
That is a very heavy warning coming from Brittany, someone who lived in the trenches of a highly publicized, difficult marriage for years. She specifically referenced Danny's behavior in San Diego during the drag pageant.
His tone with Nia in San Diego was so harsh, and she was freshly postpartum with twins. It was genuinely uncomfortable to watch. But Danny did address it in this unseen footage. He admitted he was in a heightened state, felt like Nia didn't have his back, but looking back, he confessed he had a, quote, stupid mindset.
Well, recognizing the behavior is the baseline for change, you know. Postpartum dynamics are incredibly fragile. A partner's tone carries 10 times the psychological weight during that period because the mother's nervous system is already redlining.
Oh, absolutely.
So taking accountability for being out of line rather than doubling down on television is crucial.
It is. And, you know, watching these adults behave this way on camera really makes you wonder how the kids on these networks survive the toxicity of reality television. Actually, our listener Sarah wrote in asking exactly this. She wants to know what the Bravo kids are doing to escape the drama. And Sarah, we have an amazing update for you about Connie Burse's daughter, Riley.
Riley is quietly building an incredibly impressive, well-rounded resume that has nothing to do with reality TV drama.
Yeah, she is.
She's an artist who paints, and she studies multiple languages. She speaks English, Korean, Spanish, and some Portuguese.
It's amazing. She has also already dipped her toes into the music industry on her own terms. She released a song back in 2017 called Better Late Than Never, and she even rapped on the Next Gen NYC after show.
Oh, wow.
But what is truly fascinating is that despite growing up surrounded by cameras and having all these performing talents, she wants a highly structured corporate job. She wants to work behind the scenes at a record label.
Which is the ultimate rebellion for a reality TV kid.
Totally.
She understands the actual mechanics of the entertainment business, not just the spotlight. Working at a label gives you control, equity, and longevity, things that being a reality star rarely provides. She wants the power of the boardroom, not the vulnerability of the casting couch.
Exactly. It's so smart. And speaking of family dynamics, while Riley is building her own independent life, let's talk about siblings who use their money to completely pull the strings of their family members.
Yeah, see?
Yeah. On House of Stassi, Georgiana Aubin just dropped a massive truth bomb about her sister, Stassi Schroeder.
Financial dynamics within families are always complicated, but this situation involves extreme manipulation. Georgiana revealed on a podcast that Stassi actually paid for her wedding to her now ex-husband, Gary Guth.
Right, but it wasn't a generous gift from a loving sister.
Right.
Georgiana had this specific vision of getting married in the woods. And Stassi basically swooped in with Katie Maloney and Kristen Dout and completely shut it down. She told Georgiana there was absolutely no way she was dragging her friends into the woods, wrote a check, and aggressively demanded to buy her a luxury dream wedding instead.
And Georgiana initially refused the money, but Stassi insisted it was a gift out of love.
Yeah.
But cut to a few years later, Georgiana is on the fence about getting a divorce. Stassi pushes her to do it and offers to pay for the divorce proceedings.
And Georgiana refuses again. She does the paperwork, rips the Band-Aid off, and pays for the divorce herself to maintain her independence. But Stassi finds out it's finalized, declares, quote, "I'm a woman of my word," and sends Georgiana the money via Venmo anyway. So Georgiana just let the money sit in her Venmo balance. But here is where it gets incredibly dark. 2 days later, while cameras are rolling for Vanderpump Villa, Stassi weaponizes that exact Venmo payment against her.
It transforms the money from a supportive gift into a contract of compliance. Venmo is uniquely suited for this type of psychological warfare because you can force money into someone's account without their permission.
You literally can't stop it.
Right. By forcing the cash on her sister, Stassi basically purchased the right to use it as ammunition for television drama.
It is like someone aggressively demanding to buy you a drink you didn't ask for, shoving it into your hand, and then immediately screaming that you were a freeloader in front of the entire bar.
That's the perfect analogy.
Right. Stassi knows exactly how to produce a television scene, and she was entirely willing to use her sister's very real, very painful divorce as a storyline prop.
This type of aggressive maneuvering is everywhere right now. I mean, we are seeing these intense power struggles and generational clashes happening across multiple franchises. Look at the fallout from the Real Housewives Ultimate Girls Trip, the Roaring 20th season.
Oh my gosh, yes. Porsha Williams is doing press and holding absolutely nothing back. She revealed that Luann de Lesseps was the person who annoyed her the absolute most on the trip.
I'm not surprised.
Porsha flat out said Luann was doing too much, and, quote, "I had to gather her," which means Porsha completely decimated Luann in an argument.
Well, Luann and Porsha are both massive personalities who operate as the center of gravity on their respective shows.
Yeah.
When you put two apex predators in a confined space, a struggle for dominance is inevitable.
But shockingly, Porsha had glowing things to say about Vicki Gunvalson.
Really?
Yeah. She named Vicki the most improved cast member mid-season. She admitted she expected Vicki to just show up, clock in, and ignore everyone, but apparently Vicki really turned her attitude around.
That is highly unusual, considering Vicki's track record on these vacation shows usually consists of complaining about the bedrooms and refusing to participate in group activities.
Right. And Porsha also threw herself into the middle of the Salt Lake City dynamics. She fiercely defended Lisa Barlow against Heather Gay and the rest of the Salt Lake cast. Porsha stated she didn't care what Lisa had done to them in the past. She was going to blindly support her friend. Though she did admit Lisa managed to annoy the green-eyed bandit Giselle Bryant at least once.
The clash between Porsha and Luann perfectly mirrors a fascinating parallel happening on The Real Housewives of Orange County right now, too. We are watching a brutal war between the new guard and the legacy stars.
Yes. Over in Orange County, Gina Kirschenheiter is publicly defending Emily Simpson. Emily called Vicki a Debbie Downer on the show, and Vicki completely lost her mind.
Oh, she snapped.
She harped on the insult at literally every single event they attended.
Gina's analysis of why Vicki reacted so explosively is very sharp, actually. Gina pointed out that Vicki's entire 20-year brand is built on being the, quote, queen of whoop it up. So being called a Debbie Downer is a direct attack on her core identity. Gina went a step further, arguing that it is fundamentally about boomers not wanting to be called boring, especially because Vicki is dealing with health issues that are naturally slowing her down.
Why do these legacy stars clash so intensely with the newer guard, though?
Well, Luann and Porsha are both massive personalities who operate as the center of gravity on their respective shows.
Like, it's not just normal bickering, it feels incredibly deep-rooted with Vicky and Luann against women like Porsha, Gina, and Emily.
Because the legacy stars literally built the infrastructure of these franchises.
Right.
I mean, Vicky was the first housewife in history.
Right.
Luann survived a decade of early New York chaos. They operate under the deeply held assumption that their seniority grants them automatic deference and authority. But the newer guard came into an established, well-oiled machine. They know how the game is played, and they are not intimidated by the resumes of the older women.
So they don't care.
Exactly. When a newer cast member challenges a legacy star, it's not just a disagreement, it is an existential threat to the older star's relevance. When Emily calls Vicky a Debbie Downer, Vicky doesn't hear an insult about her mood. She hears, "You are no longer necessary for the survival of this network."
Wow, that explains the pure rage. They are fighting for their thrones.
Yes.
Speaking of Gina, she also gave a major update on her personal life. Her wedding to Travis Mullen is officially delayed. She admitted she was feeling intense pressure to get it done, but ultimately she just wants to take her time, which is incredibly refreshing. Secure the prenup, figure out the logistics, and do it when it makes financial sense.
Taking a breath and refusing to let a production shooting schedule dictate a major life choice is the smartest thing a reality star can do. And if we connect this all back to the bigger picture of the industry right now, what is truly fascinating is the massive power shift between the networks and the audience.
Oh, completely.
Look at the Bravo editing scandal with Nia Booko. Fans instantly caught the swapped video files on the streaming platforms. They recorded the discrepancies, posted the side-by-side evidence on social media, and literally forced a billion-dollar network to pull down an episode.
The fans are essentially operating as freelance, unpaid producers at this point. The sleuths never sleep.
And it proves that the era of reality TV producers manipulating the narrative in the dark without any consequence is completely over. We have fully entered an era of crowdsourced reality checking.
Yeah.
You can't leave Jax Taylor's PR stunts on the cutting room floor and expect people not to demand answers. And you certainly can't quietly swap out crucial dialogue on Peacock. The audience understands post-production just as well as the editors do, and they are watching the cuts just as closely as they are watching the drama.
Oh, they definitely are. But you're going to want to be here for our next audio because we just got our hands on some leaked group chats from the Summer House cast that are going to completely flip everything you thought you knew about this season finale.